The man rapidly mobilizes his cultivation and rushes towards the entrance, but suddenly meets a tragic death on the spot. After the spiritual tomb is opened, Hanmayujuru, in order to redeem his past disgrace, steps forward with the dragon-slaying sword, burning his entire cultivation, vowing to become the first to enter the tomb. "Hey, young man, you're a bit crazy today. Chindaorang, hurry up, he's about to surpass you." Little did they know that Hanmayujuru would be killed the next second. Chindaorang and Luo Qingchen stare blankly, as the old man of the spiritual tomb stands proudly. "Have you all forgotten the rules of my spiritual clan? Dare to use spiritual energy in front of my Ling clan? Hanmayujuru, you fool, didn't I tell you before you came? Pity our world's #1 warrior." Just as we set off, it's already over. The onlookers are confused. How can we go up without using spiritual energy? And this vine seems to be alive. So, the only way to pass this trial is to rely purely on physical strength to climb up. Although the vine secretes toxins, the older you are, the stronger your resistance to the poison. That's why we brought only the old folks this time. Young people, just watch the performance of our older generation. Hanmayujuru, I will carry your will and help you stay ahead of them. Suddenly, there's a loud crash. What just passed by? Damn, why did he fly? And why did he have that idiotic expression? Are you all idiots? If you can fly, why climb? Young people have no sense of martial ethics. But why isn't the vine attacking him? Is the vine asleep or something? But then they were stunned when they turned their heads. Countless vines relentlessly attack the fat guy. Not only is he unharmed, but he's even snoring. This guy is actually enduring the attacks and climbing up. Sleeping Buddha is truly amazing, but this infuriates them. Who combines sleeping and passing the trial at the same time? Can things get any more absurd? Zhu Wuyan is using the power of the war god. The fat guy relies on absolute defense, but Chindaorang and Luo Qingchen don't have those abilities. They can only watch them take the lead. Suddenly, a dazzling light blinds Chindaorang. "Senior sister, why is your chest glowing?" Luo Qingchen fumbles around, taking out a scroll from her chest. It's the map given by the Haoyue kingdom back then. Chindaorang, who witnessed the whole process, can only silently give a thumbs up. "Senior sister, you truly don't treat me as an outsider." Just as they were amazed, the vine drops with a swish. The old man of the spiritual tomb puts on a pleasing expression. "Guests, please come in." This makes them extremely happy. Guest chairs. Yes, with the Falling Star map, you can bypass the first trial and directly become the first candidate to enter. The middle-aged man, who is struggling to climb, sheds tears of humiliation. There's even VIP treatment for the trial. This is so unfair. Doesn't this make them pure victims of injustice? Luo Qingchen and Chindaorang, amidst the envious gazes of the crowd, slowly sit on the chairs. "VIP treatment is amazing. Senior sister, your courtesy was truly worth it. I told you the Falling Star map would be useful." Chindaorang has already imagined himself winning, but soon he starts crying. The old man of the spiritual tomb teleports behind him with a swish, and smacks him directly, sending him flying. "Damn, what are you doing, old man? I'm a VIP, you know." Instead, he takes Luo Qingchen and flies straight towards the entrance. There can only be one VIP. The Falling Star map can only allow one person inside. Damn it, only one person? Why didn't you say so earlier? This scene happens to be witnessed by the unlucky middle-aged man. The two who have been constantly abused finally see something happy. "You're also experiencing this now. Finally someone is having a worse time than me. Weren't you arrogant just now? Now you can't do anything, right?" Given the situation, Chindaorang can only climb along with them, but as soon as he touches the vine, it hurts terribly. It turns out the vine is poisonous, and the younger you are, the more toxic it is. At this moment, the voice of the old man of the spiritual tomb resounds. The opening time of the teleportation gate has only 100 breaths left. Chindaorang is already in despair. Now he's going to embarrass the patriarch. What can be done to catch up with them in such a short time? Suddenly, a fluctuation emanates from the ground, and an extremely dense spiritual energy surges out. The enraged old man of the spiritual tomb, who is monitoring, is burning with anger. "I just explained the rules, and you dare release such a dense spiritual energy. This is the greatest disrespect to the spiritual clan." Without waiting for him to take action, countless vines are surging towards Chindaorang. This is actually the move the unlucky middle-aged man specifically prepared for his opponents, daring to kill Hanmayujuru. Now it's your turn. Chindaorang's heart is already collapsing. Is he going to meet his end here? Suddenly, a hair floats out, and from it emanates a voice that seems like divine might. "You insolent fool, how dare you attack my junior with this worthless grass?" In the next moment, this lightly floating hair bursts with unparalleled power, like an unparalleled strike, directly cutting the vine in half at the waist, its might sweeping across the entire scene. Shocking everyone present, Chindaorang is already stunned, and the vine collapses with a thunderous sound. After all the effort to climb for so long, it falls like this, the unlucky middle-aged man can't help but feel miserable and want to cry. The energy of the entire spiritual tomb couldn't counter it, and the old man of the spiritual tomb can only stand there helplessly. To possess such power, could it be that man? Chen Daorang looks at the hair in his hand, as if the whole world is in his hands. Who could have imagined that a single hair from the patriarch could be so amazing? What are others? Just sword cultivators, blade cultivators. From today onwards, I am a hair cultivator. This guy actually sticks the hair directly onto his face, and the effect is explosive. From now on, there will be another legend in the martial world. The handsome boy who travels the world with his hair. The patriarch has indeed treated me well, but this disgusts the others greatly. Why should he get special treatment? Even a single strand of hair will do, and he stuck it on in such a disgusting way. But if he cuts the vines, doesn't that mean we can fly? Hurry up, brothers. Joy comes from the heavens at this final moment. Now we can all enter. Only the old man of the spiritual tomb calmly contemplates on the side. It can't be possible. This time, it seems like he saw a familiar power. Can the spiritual clan still find the right person like this? After resolving the crisis of Great Wu, he helped the Princess Wang Qin cure the poisonous dragon's resentment. But he suddenly discovered that there is another unprecedented power within the princess's body that cannot be eradicated. The king, who was just happy upon hearing this news, can't help but worry once again. Chen Xian explains, this power is not only extremely troublesome, but also constantly threatens Wang Qin's life. Besides Great Zhou, who could spread this poison in the Hongmeng continent? I'm afraid no one else has this capability. Tell me where Great Zhou is. The patriarch doesn't hesitate, immediately flashing into the territory of Great Zhou, starting with a mighty palm of the power of laws. I am the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, the one who poisoned my descendant, Wang Qin. Quickly come out and apologize. Otherwise, I will annihilate Great Zhou. Suddenly, thunder cracks in the clear sky. The sound of thunder reverberates incessantly, but a voice comes through. Although the voice is not loud, it strikes directly at the soul. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, even if you kill me, you won't be able to cure your descendant. Once this poison is planted, even I am powerless. Chen Xian instantly becomes furious. Then you shall be buried together with Great Zhou. Manipulating the power of laws, covering the entire nation of Great Zhou, directly cover downwards. Suddenly, a purple light shoots out from the ground, actually shattering Chen Xian's power of laws into pieces. Chen Xian has never encountered such a situation before. Still in a daze, he hears that voice again. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, it seems you haven't understood the situation. Now the person to worry about being killed isn't me, but you, Chen Xian. At this moment, Chen Xian feels as if he is in an endless hell. The system also turns red directly. Warning, warning, host, this creature has the power to kill you. Don't act rashly. Simultaneously triggers a high difficulty mission. Trial 6 urgently opens. Success will allow you to proceed to the next continent. Failure will result in catastrophic damage to the host and the Hongmeng continent. Chen Xian breaks out in a cold sweat from shock. This thing can kill me. If I fail, will the creatures on the continent die? But the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, invincible for 10,000 years, how could he be frightened by this unknown person? He directly questions, who are you? Why would you harm a child? Do you still want to destroy this continent? Chen Xian's reaction also surprises him. In the absence of any information, he can actually guess his plan. But who I am doesn't matter. What matters is that a new era of 10,000 years is about to begin. Natural disasters will come, and then I will break through the seal and give you all a great gift. Everyone will see my true form and fear my mighty name. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, I have a premonition. Perhaps you will be the only one who can hinder my plan, or perhaps you will become the scapegoat for the entire continent. Unfortunately, I cannot kill you now, but I will launch an attack on the entire continent next. Can you stop me? Chen Xian, who was pondering, happens to see a system prompt. These are creatures that have existed since the birth of this continent. Host, do not take it lightly, but this only confuses Chen Xian even more. He has been in the Hongmeng continent for 200,000 years, yet there are creatures older than him. However, he quickly becomes relieved. The system has already recovered. Who else does he have to fear? But do I have to wait until the new era? Good, I will slaughter you then. Very well, I look forward to battling you. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, although this chapter has come to an end, the antidote has not been found yet. We can only return to Great Wu for now. This girl is only 4 years old, yet she has to bear the heavy responsibility of protecting the country. Watching children of the same age grow up under their father's doting, she can only confide in little Qing in her arms. Even though she is covered in injuries from daily training, she cannot rest. All she receives is reprimands, all because she was born into the imperial family, the last remaining imperial bloodline. She must learn the power of the dragon vein to protect the endangered country. But even so, it is not enough. Her only playmate, Little Qing, has been taken away as well. What awaits her is only stricter training, and the constant cost of bearing the power of the dragon vein. Her body is gradually breaking down, and Little Qing can only silently bless her. 3 years later, Little Qing dies due to excessive worry for Wang Qin, and 6-year-old Wang Qin, having exhausted the power of the dragon vein, and already infected with Great Zhou's poisonous dragon grudge, has very little remaining lifespan. She stares blankly at the deceased Little Qing, Prime Minister. Before Wang Qin's death, she wanted to bury Little Qing, but all she received was rejection. Great Zhou has already sent people to attack the royal palace. The people of Great Wu are all hoping for your salvation, even if it means death. You must save Great Wu. Don't think that you can stop fighting for Great Wu just because you're going to die. You exist for Great Wu. You must. Before the sentence is finished, the Prime Minister is instantly killed by an explosion, once again, leaving Wang Qin alone. Looking at the Prime Minister's corpse, only endless grief remains. With a snap, she is suddenly grabbed by a hand. What are you still concerned about? I told you that you should care about the survival of the country, instead of being indecisive like a child. No matter how scared you are, no matter how much you long for freedom, it's not allowed, because you are the king of this country. You must bear everything, including sacrificing your life. But who cares that she is only 6 years old? Suddenly, an attack strikes, directly shattering him. A voice comes. Isn't what Wang Qin has done for the country enough? The person who arrives is none other than Patriarch Qin Xian. He extends his right hand, gently caressing Wang Qin's cheek. I'm sorry, Patriarch is late. Don't worry, Patriarch is here now. From now on, Wang Qin doesn't need to fight anymore. These years must have been very frightening for you. You've worked hard. At this moment, Wang Qin stares blankly at the person in front of her. Her lips tremble slightly, as if all the grievances have been cared for. Instantly, her face turns red from crying, and she rushes into Patriarch's embrace, crying loudly. After crying, Patriarch carries her to bed, and she falls into a peaceful sleep. Wang Qin seems to be dreaming. Qin Xian looks out the window, carefully recalling the entire situation. If he wants to cure Wang Qin's poison, he'll have to see if the younger generation can conquer the Spirit Clan's tomb. I wonder how those little guys are doing now. At this moment, inside the Spirit Clan's tomb, Luo Qinchen stands alone here. Chen Daorang, are you here? After the fat guy withstood the attack and pushed through. Haha, I'm the first to arrive. Zhu Wuyan follows closely behind him and also arrives. I'm the second, but after they stabilize, they all look dumbfounded, silently looking at Luo Qinchen in front of them. How did you, a woman, arrive before us? Luo Qinchen looks disdainful. Who are you talking about? Chen Daorang has also passed the first test. The old man of the spirit tomb stands proudly. Congratulations to all for passing the tomb's test. The next step is the second trial. Those who pass will become the inheritors. To pass the trial, you must complete a feat, crossing the door to the center of the earth. 2 people per team. No restrictions on using spiritual power, but there are only 2 spots for winners. As long as one person in the team reaches the finish line, the whole team is considered to have passed. Once 2 teams pass, everyone else will die in the tomb. Friendly reminder, flying in the trial will severely deplete spiritual power. Now, the second trial begins. With a loud rumbling sound, the door opens in response. Countless people rush in to seize the opportunity. Facing such a cruel rule, everyone can only choose to fight desperately. Our sect, the greatest in the world, will conquer all. A ferocious monster approaches, its crimson tongue swaying in the wind. This also ignites their fighting spirit. We will carry Hanmayudru with us. Even though you're dead, we will live on with your will. Countless flashes of blades and swords pass in an instant, accompanied by the monster's wailing. Successfully slay the first monster. This is the strength of my sect, the greatest in the world. Unlike some people, all bark and no bite. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blows. It turns out to be Zhu Wuyan and Chen Daorang, along with 2 others. How boring! Is this level just about killing monsters? Isn't there something stronger? Zhu Wuyan and Qin Peng's team kill 99 plus beasts. Chen Daorang and Luo Qinchen's team kill 99 plus beasts. Who is the real monster here? Why do they make it look so easy? In the midst of their shock, a hissing sound is heard. They turn around and see a giant spider looking shyly at them. Chen Daorang and Zhu Wuyan charge forward fearlessly. Little spider, here I come. One wields a hoe, the other grabs a tree branch, madly unleashing attacks on the spider. But they inadvertently expose a vulnerability, and the small spider spits out a glob of phlegm, directly hitting both of them. They are sent sprawling and sliding along the ground for 200 meters. Luo Qinchen and the chubby guy show worried expressions. They quickly rush to the rescue. Be careful, the phlegm is highly toxic. We can't move. However, the small spider doesn't want to give them any chance, continuously spewing countless spiderwebs. The chubby guy extends his arms. Little buddy, don't be afraid. I'll help you. The giant Dharma image directly blocks in front of Zhu Wuyan, and Luo Qingchen immediately transforms, using the Great Sun Divine Flame to burn through the spider silk. But the spider silk keeps coming. She soon falls into a disadvantage, and can only hold Chen Daorang and evade first. Who knew the monster would change its form, occupying a favorable position and directly blocking the path, trapping everyone in front of the checkpoint? This monster is very powerful. Could it be planning to kill us all? The greatest sect in the world secretly lurks on the side. You guys can fight it out here. It turns out he also has a piece of the Starfall map. He intentionally took the lead in killing monsters earlier, just to give the wrong hint that killing monsters is necessary to pass the checkpoint. The map in his hands indicates that this monster cannot be killed, because it's actually a mirror formation. No matter how strong you are, what you hit is actually yourself. To pass, you have to sacrifice a team member. But who knew his team member, upon hearing this, not only did not regret, but was the first to charge forward? If I don't go to hell, who will? Sacrificing a kidney for the sect leader. Open sesame. After the sacrifice, indeed, a passage opened up, and the sect leader swiftly entered. It is said that the spiritual clan does this to test the spirit of sacrifice. But if they let them pass the test first, then the remaining people will all die. Chen Daorang and Zhu Wuyan helplessly watch this scene. They can't understand how they managed to get past this monster. At this moment, the chubby guy explained, I saw it. They sacrificed a team member. This seems to be the secret to getting through the spiderweb. Luo Qingchen listened to this news in shock. So that's why it has to be 2 people in a team? Now the voice of the spiritual tomb elder resounded. There are only 100 breaths of time left. 2 teams are approaching the finish line. Once the time is up, the teams that haven't passed will all die. There's not much time left for Chen Daorang and the others. In this tense moment, couples who were just affectionate moments ago immediately turn against each other. Master and disciple fighting each other is even common. Morality has completely fallen. Even biological father and son, for the sole chance of survival, they turn their weapons against each other. Just then, the chubby guy grabs Zhu Wuyan. Little brother, instead of both of us dying here, it's better to. Hey, what are you trying to do, chubby guy? But the chubby guy was unusually calm at this moment. Every time I wake up after sleeping for so long, I always feel a sense of loneliness and abandonment. But this time, when I met you, I felt like I met a family member. How about I let you go ahead? Zhu Wuyan looked at the chubby guy in astonishment. Luo Qingchen helped Chen Daorang up at this moment. Indeed, there's not much time left, Chen Daorang. As your senior sister, I should take responsibility for taking care of my junior brother. When you obtain the inheritance, remember to take care of Forget Immortal Sect for me. It turns out that after hearing the method to pass, both Chubby Guy and Luo Qingchen had already made their own choices. Zhu Wuyan and Chen Daorang, dragging their injured bodies, shouted behind them, Senior sister, stop, let me handle this. Chubby Guy, come back. But the two had already arrived at the front of the formation. Chen Daorang's mind was shaken, and he couldn't stop them anymore. At this critical moment, the only one left to seek help from was the Patriarch. He took out a strand of the Patriarch's hair alone and silently prayed in his heart, Patriarch, please, save us. Otherwise, Senior Sister will die. Who knew that they would actually receive a response from the Patriarch? Chen Daorang, use your brain and think carefully. There must be a solution. You can't rely on the Patriarch to solve everything. This time, the Patriarch won't help you. Remember, you are a descendant of the Chen family. But at this moment, Chen Daorang couldn't absorb anything the Patriarch said. Patriarch, what can I do now? When you gave Senior Sister the grilled skewer to enhance her cultivation, if you had shared some with me, maybe I could save Senior Sister now. Wait, Chen Daorang suddenly had a bright idea. The skewer and the solution. So that's it. I have a way. Without hesitation, Chen Daorang immediately shouted, Senior Sister, big guy, stop. I have a way that doesn't require sacrifice. As long as you, big guy, are willing to cooperate, our two teams will definitely pass the level. I swear in the name of my Patriarch, the chubby guy questioned. Kid, why should I trust you? You're the one who's been chasing after me, seeking revenge. Luo Qingchen also quickly asked, Chen Daorang, have you really thought of a solution? At this moment, Zhu Wuyan suddenly spoke up and said, give it a try, chubby guy. He swore on his Patriarch's name. I don't think he would joke about his Patriarch, but in the next moment, he suddenly got angry and said, and what's with you deciding to die for me? What kind of cool move is that? We can just die together and be reborn as brothers in the next life. The chubby guy calmed down at this point. Alright, quickly, tell us how to cooperate. Zhu Wuyan helped Chen Daorang up. Thank you, just listen to my instructions. First, let the big guy put on his defense gear for me, and Senior Sister, use the Great Sun Divine Flame to ignite the big guy. Then I'll enlarge the stick's momentum, and the stick will carry me and the big guy towards the spider web. When we reach the spider web, the divine flame on the big guy's body should be able to temporarily burn through the web. Then, before the hole is sealed by the monster, Zhu Wuyan will tightly hold onto the other end of the stick. Once Zhu Wuyan passes through the spider web, I will enlarge the stick again and sling Zhu Wuyan beyond the finish line. But I'm heavily injured right now, so I can only sling you a certain distance before the finish line. Therefore, after you land, you must summon the battle garb of the war god and firmly hold onto your end of the stick. Wait for me to shrink on this end, and because you're holding onto your end, I can be carried over, and because only one person from a team needs to reach the finish line, we won't have to sacrifice anyone in the end. But before this, they were still enemies. Yet Chen Daorang unconditionally believed that Zhu Wuyan would pull him over. Chen Daorang explained it like this: after fighting for a while just now, I had this inexplicable trust in you. If we can really make it out alive, I still want to recognize you as my junior. There are 20 seconds left until the trial ends. Zhu Wuyan exerts all her strength to stabilize the stick with the war god battle garb. I almost consider you my little brother. Come at me. With a swoosh, Chen Daorang is directly carried over by the stick. At this moment, there are only 10 seconds left. The head of the top sect is also close to reaching the finish line. His spiritual energy is almost depleted, but who could have expected that at the last moment they would actually catch up, only to see Chen Daorang and Zhu Wuyan, both with their battle garb fully activated. Their momentum is astonishing and unstoppable. In this plan, the stick and us are like skewered kebabs. We can only succeed if we unite and fight together like grilled meat on a skewer. Only then can we pass the fiery test and overcome the difficulties. The sect leader has already exhausted all his spiritual power, but for the finish line, they dare not slack off in the slightest. No spiritual power? Then we'll run for it. However, Chen Daorang and the others are full of determination. Even if they are injured and coughing up blood, they burn their spiritual energy and continue moving forward. We can only trust each other. Only then can we possibly reach the finish line. In the remaining time, I didn't expect them to win in the last second. The sect leader and the others can hardly believe their eyes. How did they pull off such a move? At this moment, the voice of the Spirit Tomb Old Man resounds. Time's up. The participants who cleared Trial 2 have been determined. The trial is over. Now, I will transport the participants to the finish line. Chen Daorang, well done. The fat guy also embraces Zhu Wuyan tightly. You really did it. You guys are so cool. Since Trial 2 is complete, the rest of you shall become nourishment for the tomb. The others die on the spot, in a pitiful manner. Only Chen Daorang and Zhu Wuyan remain, determined to obtain the final inheritance. They have already made up their minds to eliminate all obstacles. No matter the enemy, they will deal with them together. The Spirit Tomb Old Man smiles at them and says, "You don't need to fight anymore. Regarding the inheritance you desire, our Spirit Clan's Seven Saints Society will give it to you directly." In the next moment, countless energies converge towards the four of them, instantly healing their injuries and continuously breaking through their strength. Chen Xian also receives a system prompt. Congratulations to the hosts junior for obtaining the Spirit Clan's inheritance. Trial 4 is complete, rewarding the host's cultivation. Chen Xian directly breaks through to the Emperor Realm 8 level and receives one chance to draw a prize. However, Chen Xian is deeply concerned. Have these little guys completed the mission so quickly? Why does it feel a bit fast? Over at the tomb, the four of them continue to receive the power of inheritance. Guardian of the tomb, we have obtained the inheritance. Please let us out. But the Spirit Clan's 7 saints suddenly intensify the transmission. A stronger force comes towards them. This violent power is overwhelming their bodies. Even the fat guy's Arhat battle garb cannot withstand this power. They actually want to kill us through energy transmission, but the difference in strength is too great. Luo Qinshan can no longer hold on and falls down. The Spirit Tomb Old Man wears a sinister expression. This group of people is quite good. They are about to become. At this moment, a voice comes from the sky. Hey, Spirit Clan old dog, have you forgotten the first survival rule from 100,000 years ago? Huh, who's speaking? The first rule? There was such a thing 100,000 years ago. What was it called again? One of the 7 saints answers. I remember it goes like this. You can provoke Chen Xian, but you can't provoke Chen Xian's descendants. Yes, that's it. The meaning is, if you provoke Chen Xian might be afraid of you and let it slide. But if you provoke his descendants, then Chen Xian will transform into the invincible Supreme Heavenly Emperor. No matter who you are, he'll make you meet your ancestors. After saying that, they burst into laughter. Ha ha. It brings back memories from 100,000 years ago. But this rule is targeted at the people of the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. Could it be them? In the next second, a hair floats out from Chen Daorang's body, and Chen Xian appears directly. I already revealed my identity outside, yet you still didn't realize who they are. The 7 saints are dumbfounded. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, at this moment, the Spirit Tomb old man finally remembers. The power from outside the field earlier was from the Supreme Heavenly Emperor, so they are descendants of the Supreme Heavenly Emperor. The 7 saints immediately apologize in unison. Sorry, Supreme Heavenly Emperor, I know you're protecting your own, but you don't know what we're doing. Please don't stop us. Qin Xian, on the other hand, looks indifferent. I'm not here to save them. I'm here to settle the score for the hot pot seasoning that chased me for 3 days and 3 nights 100,000 years ago. The aura of the Heavenly Emperor is released. The 7 individuals are immediately suppressed and forced to kneel. Do you still remember the grudge from 100,000 years ago? I can see that you're clearly looking for an excuse to protect them. The 4 people beside them look at Qin Xian excitedly. Patriarch, Master, you're not dead. After saying that, they look at each other in astonishment. Master, you call him Patriarch? Little did they know, they start arguing the next second. What the heck? Why are you two calling my Patriarch? Nonsense. This is my master. Why would you call him Patriarch? He's clearly my Patriarch. Who gave you the right to call him that? Luo Qinchen can't hold back at this point. Nonsense. He's clearly the Patriarch for both me and Chen Daorang. Seeing the awkwardness of the juniors, Patriarch forgot to introduce you. Actually, you're all one family. Qin Peng is your long-lost senior martial brother. The 4 people who are arguing look at him in surprise. Haha, I knew these little fellows were so familiar. Luo Qinchen looks apologetic. I'm sorry, Senior Qin Peng. I'm the senior sister of the newest generation. I was disrespectful to you earlier. Haha, it's alright. Now I'm also an elder. Zhu Weyan is speechless. Chen Daorang suddenly became his second martial brother. He can't accept it. The Spirit Clan old man suddenly points at Qin Xian. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, let me tell you again. You have no idea what you're stopping. I advise you to stop. This reminds Qin Xian. According to the rule, I should send you to meet your ancestors. The hand of rules strikes down. The 7 saints of the Spirit Clan are about to meet their demise, but the Spirit Clan old man suddenly shouts, Qin Xian, stop it. We can't die yet. Suddenly, an attack comes from underground, directly shattering Qin Xian's attack. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, please stop. Qin Xian looks curiously at this scene. Why would you, with insufficient power, intervene for us? Qin Xian carefully perceives, realizing that this power is actually the same as the one in the Great Zhou's underground lake. He instantly becomes furious, with killing intent soaring. It's you again. You've harmed one of my disciples. Isn't that enough? Now you want to harm my other disciples too. The mastermind finally reveals themselves. No, Supreme Heavenly Emperor, what you saw in the Great Zhou back then wasn't me, but he is me. At this moment, Qin Xian receives a system prompt. This creature and the creature in the Great Zhou are not the same. This creature doesn't possess the ability to kill you. He continues to speak. Supreme Heavenly Emperor, I understand that you're confused now. Please allow me to explain the whole situation. Qin Xian also wants to know the origin of all this. After all, the system said that only here can the Wang Qin toxin be resolved. Originally, millions of years ago, he was born in this continent. He is the spiritual vein of this continent, devoted to blessing the living beings in the region. At that time, the Hongmeng continent was full of vitality, but since the human clan discovered the power of the spiritual vein, they started using it to launch wars. The war lasted for millions of years without cease. As the spiritual vein itself, he witnessed too much slaughter, which affected his state of mind. Eventually, a malicious thought emerged in him, and he wanted to kill all living beings in the continent to prevent the disaster from happening. When he was still clear-headed, the spiritual vein called upon his messengers, which are the entire Spirit Clan. At that time, most of his power was bestowed upon the Spirit Clan, but because the power was too overwhelming, the Spirit Clan almost perished as a result. Fortunately, after the 7 saints of the Spirit Clan received the power, they became the spiritual bodies capable of sealing the spiritual vein. Finally, they engaged in a fierce battle against the evil spiritual vein, successfully sealing its life source and extracting the malice from the spiritual vein. Due to the loss of its life source, both the spiritual vein and the malice turned into stone statues, falling respectively into the Earth's core and the Great Zhou. They can no longer take any action. The crisis on the continent was successfully resolved. Little did they know, recently, he clearly sensed that the malice had found a way to break the petrification seal. It is waiting for the new era to begin. At that time, it will surely break the seal and come out to destroy the continent. Now, the 7 saints of the Spirit Clan are on the verge of extinction, so he must find new candidates to reseal the malice. But the Supreme Heavenly Emperor interrupted the only opportunity for inheritance. Qin Xian, now you realize the enormous mistake you've made. You've destroyed the only opportunity for inheritance. It's equivalent to destroying this continent. Qin Xian falls into contemplation. No wonder I couldn't defeat the malice. Turns out it was the power of the spiritual vein, an irresistible force for cultivators. But he laughs heartily. It seems I've really caused a great disaster. Is there any way to resolve this? I'm willing to make amends. The spiritual vein answers once again. The only current method is to first destroy the life source that seals the malice. This way, both it and the malice will perish. However, considering your temperament, Supreme Heavenly Emperor, it's likely difficult for you to agree. Qin Xian expresses surprise. You're voluntarily destroying the life source. Why would I disagree? Because I can sense that the malice has placed the life source inside Wang Qin's body. Upon hearing this, Qin Xian's mindset instantly explodes. So, by destroying the life source, Wang Qin will undoubtedly die. Damn it. So, the poison within Wang Qin's body is actually the sealed life source? Supreme Heavenly Emperor, although you are fiercely protective, this is the only way to save the Hongmeng continent. Now, if Wang Qin lives, the creatures on the continent die. If Wang Qin dies, the creatures on the continent live. Now, my power is almost non-existent. Even if you stop us to kill Wang Qin, we are powerless. So, the survival of the continent depends on whether you agree to hand over Wang Qin. Damn it. Is it another trolley problem? It turns out he recalls the time before his transmigration. When he was on the brink of death, the system asked him a question. If you were the train conductor, and your train had a malfunction and couldn't stop, on one side of the tracks, there was one dying person, and on the other side, there were 5 healthy people. If the train collided, it would undoubtedly cause death. Which track would you divert the train to? Qin Xian holds his head in agony. Can I have some time to think? Alright, there are still 3 days until the new era arrives. Within 3 days, if you're willing to hand over Wang Qin, crush this token, and we will immediately initiate the destruction ritual. There's still time for everything. Qin Xian can only agree. Let's go. Patriarch will take you back. As soon as they arrived in the Great Wu Dynasty, Qin Daorang threw away his favorite stick. Is this our little junior sister? So adorable. Qin Xian asks. Has Wang Qin woken up? Princess just woke up. Who are they? But the others couldn't hold back any longer. Didn't expect to have such a cute little junior sister. Let me hug her. Let senior brother hug her. Taking advantage of the situation, Qin Xian asks the system, is there any other way to deal with the poison on Wang Qin's body? Your disciple has completed trial 4. The host still has one unused chance for a lucky draw. If the host can draw a strengthening grand prize, perhaps there's a way to solve it. Qin Xian has a sudden realization. Yeah, if I could draw an attack enhancement that can eradicate the evil thoughts, then Wang Qin doesn't have to die. Immediately, he starts the lucky draw. The roulette spins frantically. SSR attack enhancement. Snap your fingers to kill enemies. Qin Xian excitedly watches the roulette. That's great. With this enhancement, I will definitely be able to. But to his surprise, what appears before his eyes is a consolation prize. Defense enhancement. Within your domain, you cannot be harmed. Qin Xian is struck by lightning and immediately coughs up 3 liters of blood. What kind of consolation prize is this? At least an overlord can open up a domain. What use is it for me in the Emperor realm? Does it mean I can only rely on that power to deal with the evil thoughts? But if I can't use it properly, everyone will die. At that moment, the voice of the system rings out again. Congratulations, host, for discovering a clue. Trial 5 initiated. Objective, save the Great Wu disciples. Reward, one-time battle domain. Luo Qinchen and the other 4 burst into tears. Why is our little junior sister's life so bitter? It's okay. Patriarch will definitely find a solution. Wang Qin is a bit confused. Why is everyone crying? Qin Xian says to the queen, Your Majesty, can you help me gather all the leaders of the forces on the continent within 3 days? The queen affirms, yes, I can. Patriarch, what are you planning to do? You must have thought of a way to detoxify Wang Qin. Patriarch would never give up on any of his disciples. But suddenly, Qin Xian crushes the jade token. The people who were just happy are instantly stunned. Qin Xian looks at Wang Qin and says to her, Wang Qin, from now on, let senior brother and senior sister take you to have fun, okay? Wang Qin happily asks, can I take a break, senior brother? Yes, enjoy yourself, but only for 3 days. Thank you, Patriarch. Qin Daorang and the others mourn in their hearts. Does Patriarch really have no solution this time? Over the next 3 days, the 7 saints of the Spirit Clan arrive at Great Wu and construct the altar for the destruction ritual. At the same time, leaders of the forces from all over the continent also gather here. Meanwhile, Wang Qin spends these 3 days playing with Luo Qinchen and the others. Wang Qin tries a sugar figurine for the first time. So sweet. 3 days later, on the day of the ritual, the queen says to Qin Xian, "Great one, all the leaders of the continent have arrived now, and they all know about the sacrifice of Princess Wang Qin. Luo Qinchen and the others have also returned with Wang Qin." Wang Qin holds a sugar figurine and looks happily at Qin Xian. "Patriarch, here, have some sugar figurine, it's tasty." Qin Xian gently strokes Wang Qin's hair. "Wang Qin, Patriarch will eat the sugar figurine later, okay? Do you want to go to that place first? Those are imperial physicians. If you go there, your illness will be cured. Is that okay?" Wang Qin walks happily towards the 7 saints. Old man of the spirit clan, let out a bark. Wang Qin takes her place. The destruction ritual can begin. Everyone present kneels down one after another to bid farewell to Princess Wang Qin of Great Wu. Wang Qin stands there, unsure of what to do. Luo Qinchen and the others can no longer restrain themselves and shout, "No, Wang Qin, come back quickly. Those are not imperial physicians. You've been deceived. You will die if you go there. We'll save you." Luo Qinchen and the others can no longer suppress their emotions and rush forward to save Wang Qin, but they are surrounded by everyone, layer upon layer. Standing on the moral high ground, they shamelessly declare, "We know you care about junior sister, but she is indeed the chosen sacrifice. If it were us who were chosen, we would also sacrifice our lives without hesitation." Luo Qinchen looks at Patriarch helplessly. "Do we really have to sacrifice Wang Qin? Can't we fight against the evil thoughts together?" Qin Xian's response puts them in a dilemma, because cultivators cannot resist the dragon vein power of the evil thoughts, and the ritual must continue. 7-year-old Wang Qin endures the pain she shouldn't have to bear. Her senior brothers and sisters below can't bear to look. Wang Qin looks at them and speaks, "Senior brothers and sisters, I'm fine. Actually, I already guessed that I would die today. But Wang Qin was born for the world, and being so understanding, how can one not feel heartache?" But the ritual continues. The old man of the spirit clan shouts, "Seal detachment, unseal, prepare to release the source of life." As the source of life is detached, Wang Qin suffers even more, but she has no complaints, and she continues to comfort everyone. Although Wang Qin is in pain every day, she is not afraid of death, because she has seen Patriarch and her senior brothers and sisters these days, and she has had her first rest, her first taste of sweet sugar figurine, and her first companionship. With the casting of the spirit clan's 7 saints, spiritual thunder descends, and the seal on the source of life is lifted. Prepare to destroy Wang Qin and the source of life. Countless flashes of lightning and thunderous sounds fill the air, but in the final moment of her life, Wang Qin holds no resentment towards anyone. She calmly embraces death because she fulfilled many wishes before dying. The thunder of destruction strikes, and tears stream down Wang Qin's face, but all she wants is to say goodbye to everyone once more. Luo Qinchen and the others are filled with grief and despair, shouting Wang Qin's name loudly. On the other hand, the leaders suddenly burst into laughter. Wang Qin's death is a crisis averted for them. This ugly face reveals the true nature of humanity, but in the next moment, a voice comes from the formation. "He who said the crisis was averted?" In the midst of their astonished expressions, Qin Xian holds Wang Qin in one hand and slowly walks out with the source of life in the other hand. "Thank you for helping to release the seal on Wang Qin. Now I have saved the source of life." At the final moment, it was Patriarch who took action, but the 7 saints of the spirit clan cannot sit still. They condemn Qin Xian one after another. "Qin Xian, have you gone mad? Quickly destroy Wang Qin and the source of life. Are you willing to sacrifice the entire continent for one person?" Qin Xian's gaze is full of disdain. The appearance of the evil thoughts is due to the greed and slaughter of the human race. Why should Wang Qin bear the entire human race's mistakes alone? But the people below respond, "Wang Qin was chosen. If it were us who were chosen, we would also be willing to die for the world." But Qin Xian's actions directly expose their true nature. "Fine, I haven't let go of the source of life from Wang Qin yet. If you are willing to accompany Wang Qin in death, I agree to kill Wang Qin. Look at these self-righteous individuals. Now I have chosen all of you too. Why aren't you willing to sacrifice your lives for the continent?" Selfishly standing aside and speaking empty words. "Who can't do that?" Qin Xian directly waves his hand and severs the source of life. "So I ask you, why should you? Why should Wang Qin sacrifice herself to save you?" The source of life is split in two. It is about to return to its original form. The 7 saints curse Qin Xian in anger, but it's too late. The ground keeps shaking. The source of life is about to emerge with the evil thoughts.